Hello, listeners. I'm Timstradamus, and welcome back to another Hump Day. Joining me, as always, is my talented and beautiful co-hostess, Voyse.
Good morning, Timstradamus, and welcome to all of our listeners. This will be a very different episode because we are starting our very first, and hear me out here, Am I Overreacting episode. So normally, I would kind of spritzel them Am I Overreacting stories into our Am I the A-hole stories, but I think it would be more fun to have them split off because they're all so different.
She gave me a list to pick the stories. I never pick the stories. Reddit's not really my thing. This is really all cultivated and done through Voyse. But she gave me a list of stories, and then I just pointed at them because whatever sounded cool or interesting to me. So we're going to see how that feels.
So Damas picked 4 stories from my list, and we're going to read them out loud today. So, as an introduction to any of our new listeners, welcome to Am I Overreacting, where we unwrap the gift of drama, one story at a time. Grab your tea or cocoa, hang your stockings, and settle in as we decide who's naughty, nice, or just over the top. Let the festive chaos begin.
Dang, girl. The baby has changed you.
It has. It's made me more creative.
That was awesome.
Thank you. Well, we kind of skipped over one integral piece of what I do.
What did we skip over?
The joke, of course.
Oh.
So let me go ahead and give you a joke of the day. What laundry detergent do people in the North Pole use?
Blelch.
Blelch?
Yeah.
What is that?
Bleach and Elf.
Wow, it's Yuletide.
Oh, yeah. All right. That's much more safe and sanitary.
Blelch.
I have a joke for you real fast.
For me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm excited about this. Give it to me.
What did Adam see on the day before Christmas?
It's Christmas Eve.
Why are you ruining my joke? What are you doing? This is why I get the jokes in. Have you heard that one before?
No, I haven't. It's the only thing that made sense. I was like, Adam Eve, Christmas Eve. Oh, it's Christmas Eve.
Anyway,
I
you're
still
too
think
smart.
It's really cute.
Merry Christmas, Tim.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and go to our mystery drink of the day, shall we?
This time I did not drink it.
Did not drink it. This one caught my fancy. My brother-in-law has definitely tried it before, and he said that he didn't think it was bad. The can is called Liquid Death, and it is grapefruit. And we'll see what you think. I tried a sip. We'll see.
No. No. My brother liked that?
He said he thought it was fair.
No.
Liquid Death.
Uninvited from Christmas.
Grapefruit.
Oh, God.
It is just carbonated water.
Nope.
And I'm not much for just carbonated water without any actual real juice sweeteners in it, personally. We're starting this episode right. Well, why don't we get into the first story? But for any listeners wanting to follow along, all links are in the description below. For our first story, am I overreacting for not going with my husband to visit his family on Thanksgiving? Would I be in the wrong if I chose not to go to Thanksgiving with my husband and his family out of state? I'm still deeply hurt by 2 incidents. First, he didn't attend my dad's funeral. And second, he backed out of a family vacation last minute after my daughter and I had already packed and were waiting in the car. These moments left me feeling disappointed and unsupported, especially the funeral. Now with Thanksgiving approaching, I find myself struggling to move past these feelings. I know it might be seen as petty or immature to hold on to this, but I'm tired of always being the one to let it go and move on. It feels like my feelings are constantly overlooked. He wants me to join him in Missouri for Thanksgiving with his family, but I just don't feel like I can right now. Would I be in the wrong for staying behind? Now, before we get into what you think, if they're overreacting or not, let me go ahead and read a few items that I think will flush out from our OP's comment section. A Redditor asked info and wanted to know why the husband didn't go to the funeral trip. Our OP says, the day of my dad's funeral, my husband was taking his time getting ready. And I said, well, looks like my dad was right. He always said I would be late to my own funeral. Oh, wait, I'm going to be late for my dad's funeral. I tried playing it off as joking, but I guess that was my way of saying, please hurry up. He replied, if you don't like how fast I'm getting ready, then I can stay home. Frustrated, I told him to stay home if he wanted, but I wasn't going to be late. Never thinking that he would stay home, he took off his suit and went and sat in his recliner. Family vacation day? I was getting all of the supplies ready for the neighbor kid who was going to be pet sitting. I was in a rush and split an entire bag of cat food. I screamed out a few cuss words and yelled at the cats. Husband walked in and looked at me and asked if any of that was necessary. I told him nope, none of it was. I cleaned the mess up and started packing the car. I told him that everything was good to go and we would be waiting in the car. After 15 to 20 minutes, I went in to check on him and he said, I see how this trip is going to be, screaming and cussing at some cats. Never mind, I'm not going. Took off his shoes and sat in his recliner. Our daughter was crying and asking him why, and please go, Dad, because I'm excited to see the ocean. His exact words were, is your mother too fucking stupid to drive you to Alabama and back? A quick side note, I'm from a small town in Oklahoma. I usually won't even drive to nearby towns because I say I'm scared to drive on the highway. But I looked at my daughter that day and told her to get in the car. We were going anyway. I grabbed a map book and something for safety/protection since daughter and I were driving so far away alone, and we went anyway. We made the 13.5-hour drive there and back alone. Additional information from another comment on our OP was, he has never been physically abusive, but then again, he never used to act like this either. I guess anything is possible. We were married for 10 years before having our daughter, so he was my main focus. He had always worked so hard to provide a comfortable life for us that I didn't mind waiting on him and going above and beyond. After we had our daughter, my focus shifted to her. In her early years, he was everything that a dad should be. But one day, it was like a switch flipped and he started acting completely out of character. I do work. I make significantly less than he does. However, I am able to put some money back every paycheck, just in case I need it. We even separated at one point. Everyone is in counseling and things seem better, but I'm still petty and hanging on to some grudges, hence the question I posted. So now, Timstradamus, am I overreacting?
There's definitely some details put into that. I think the one thing I want to know first is, how long ago did these things happen as far as the funeral and the vacation?
It sounds like those were fairly recent items.
Okay, so they've been there for a long time, but I assume that this happened years ago and she's like holding on to them and asking if she's wrong for holding on to them while she's also going through, because they're saying they're getting counseling right now. They're all in counseling. They're trying to make it better. See, that's important to the story, because if she's saying, I'm in counseling and I'm holding on to something that's been over 5 years ago now, then yes, maybe there is something to do with you as far as still holding on to things you two are working through. Now, you're allowed to have those feelings as you're working through them.
Let me read this additional comment from our OP just to see if it provides more clarity on the timeline. Our OP said to another Redditor, thank you for your comment. You shared some powerful thoughts and I agree with you on certain points. However, I'd like to provide a bit more context about my situation. My husband and I have been married for 10 years. After 10 years of marriage, we were blessed with a beautiful baby girl. For much of her early life, her father was everything a dad should be, loving, attentive, and kind. But life changed for all of us when we moved and both started new jobs. He changed too, and unfortunately, his behavior began to hurt us. Missing the funeral and vacation and the way he spoke to me in front of her were incredibly painful experiences. During that time, I made difficult decisions. My daughter and I went to counseling, and I removed her from harmful situations. My husband and I also separated for a while. Recently, we've begun marriage counseling, and he started attending church with us. Am I proud that my daughter witnessed those moments? Absolutely not. But I am proud of the steps I've taken to protect her and seek help. I've used every resource available to us and made choices I never thought I'd have the strength to make, all to ensure her safety and well-being. I realize that sharing my story on a public forum invites opinions, and I respect that. However, I ask that you not judge so quickly or harshly without understanding the full picture. One statement cannot capture the complexity of someone's journey. I appreciate your comment and the chance to provide more context, but I want to assure you of one thing. I am a good mother.
She's only saying, is it okay for her to not want to come to Thanksgiving?
Correct.
Because of the infractions that he had done previous.
Correct.
But if they're working through and going to counseling and trying to make things better, why would you still have that be at the forefront? If we're working towards making our relationship stronger, why is it still okay to sit there and go, well, I still want to make one last dig at you? Does that really solve anything going forward? That's really my question here is.
Well, it sounds like they both just recently started marriage counseling.
Okay. So I'm under the impression that they've been going for the last year or so now, and we're doing the healing process. The thing is, even if they've only been there for a couple sessions, if you're trying to make the relationship stronger, right, and all things set aside, why are we still trying to figure out how to hurt each other? Why is that still at the forefront? Now, you're allowed to be hurt. I'm not saying that what she's hurt about is not legitimate, because it sounds like they have a colored history. Very, because she's alluding to things but not telling us the extent of them, and that's your privacy and you're allowed all those things. You're telling me you both are in counseling now and working towards making a better future for you and your family. But then you're also saying, is it okay for me to take another dig at him because he did those things? Do two wrongs make a right ever?
No, I don't believe so. But I also don't think that I should be forced to enjoy the company of potentially people that I really don't want to spend a bunch of time with during the holidays.
Now, that's different. That's a whole other conversation. Now, if she goes, I really just don't want to spend time with all of these people, or this is the reason why I don't want to go, then I'm fine. But the question was, because my husband has been such a rotten human in the past, is it okay for me not to go to Thanksgiving with him, with his folks, because of these infractions? That was the question, if I'm understanding it correctly. Now, if your reasoning was, I just don't want to go, I'm okay with you not wanting to go. You don't have to go everywhere with your spouse. You don't have to attend family events with your spouse. But it sounds like the reasoning was because I wanted to give him back what he gave me. Unless I'm misunderstanding.
You're not misunderstanding. It probably is, in a way, petty or immature. I also don't understand why it is that I would need to, if I feel as if I have bent over backwards and have tried to be the one to make the concessions in our relationship, why do I have to continue doing that if I don't feel like going?
Sure.
I think the problem here is that she's trying to justify her reasons for not going, period. That she just doesn't want to, and is saying, look, it's not just because I don't want to. It's because of all this stuff, so just leave me alone. In a way, I wonder if she's trying to find the strength to say no by using the stuff in the past that has happened.
Now, if that's where you're going, right, and you're getting help, right, you're in counseling, you're doing these things as a couple, trying to see. She even says that he's attending church now. He's trying. It sounds like at least he may have done these horrific things, and she's willing to almost not look past them, but try to work through it some more, because apparently she loves this relationship and it means something to her, because you wouldn't try if it didn't. If that's where you're at and you're looking for an excuse to just say no, that would mean there's more problems as far as the communication and the health of the relationship.
Well, see, that's the thing. They just recently started attending marriage counseling. That takes time.
I would just say, if you're going to say no, stand behind the no. The reasoning is the only thing I'm getting caught up in, because all that does is make you harbor more hate. I'm not going to this because of these things you've done to me. That is not a healthy way to look at things. If you sat there as the adult in this situation and said, I'm just not going to go to your Thanksgiving because I don't want to go to your family's Thanksgiving, I'm more than happy with that type of answer. You don't owe people an explanation. But the problem was the explanation was to cause more hurt because of hurt. In my mind, that doesn't feel healthy.
I think for me, that's where I'm also struggling with this. As I said, it feels like our OP's trying to find the reasons to say no rather than just feeling comfortable with saying no.
Which is why I alluded to, it doesn't sound like the communication is healthy, because there's plenty of people who go to Thanksgivings without their partners. Happens every year. You don't have to do things with your partner so long as you have proper respect and communication.
We actually have family members that we know go to multiple Thanksgivings a couple days before and the day of, which I think is bafflingly crazy. That's too much excitement in one day.
But they're allowed to, and we respect all of those things. It doesn't sound like that's in this relationship. It sounds like there's a lot that has happened. And she is still striving to maintain this relationship and her family.
Do you think it's worth it for her to keep going? Based on what you've heard.
It's a dangerous game to play when you take the value of a relationship and try to say what you think on it. Because while I might hear all of those things and go, I would have definitely not dealt with any of those. I would never have accepted that out of my partner. That does not mean those same values and the way I think translates over to the next person.
That's very true.
So for her, those meant something. And it still does because they're still working through things. I would just say, be open and honest about why you don't want to go. Now, let's say for sake of argument, because I just caught myself. If that really is truly the reason why you don't want to go, you're still allowed to tell that to your partner. Just understand though, if you guys are trying to work towards making a better future, that's not the way. You really do have to start asking yourself, is this relationship important? Because if that's your answer to this situation, it sounds like to me it's not. And you're trying, like you've already alluded to, you're just trying to find a reason, right? Are you trying to goad him into the last fight? Because it doesn't sound healthy. I'm happy you guys are trying. And you see the things that are being impacted upon your daughter. I hate the reactions for the funeral. It sounds like both of you are really easy to, well, that's not fair because I don't know her enough, but it sounds like he's easy to get to anger, right? If something, a loud noise makes him upset, he hears someone cussing, my answer to that would be, hey, let's pick up this cat food really quick together so we can get on the road. Not, how dare you get upset at a situation?
I have to wonder why it is that she was the only one that was packing up the car. Because for me, that really irked me. As someone who is in a relationship, and for us, ours is a good 50-50. You and I are always doing something to make sure we are getting ready. Half the time, it feels as if you're in a race and you do things so much faster than I, while I'm sitting here with I feel like Santa where I'm checking my list twice and I'm doing it so slowly.
Oh, you're our checker. But that's the thing. When one of us gets done with something, we're more than happy to go help the other person. It's not about getting my task done so I'm done. It's about so we can both get our tasks done so we can both get on to the next thing we're doing.
But see, that's where my problem, at least in this relationship, is. You couldn't attend the funeral. Apparently, you didn't take, and I imagine it's her father. She was probably grieving. She was trying to say a joke that her dad probably said. It came out wrong. I'm sorry your feelings were hurt, dude. Get over it. Seriously.
Some people,
be there for your loved one who is grieving.
Which is appropriate in the way it should be. But some people don't have that. Some people hear you trying to poke them, hear those catalysts, and they'll rise to the occasion no matter what's going on. And you're right. You don't make that day about yourself. You understand that your partner's going through some stuff and then you talk about it later, right? But he doesn't seem to be that guy. And then you see here on a road trip that your daughter is excited to see the beach, probably for the first time, I guess.
I'm assuming so.
And you get upset because an accident happened. I can't tell you how many times you and I have accidents, but the one thing I would never do is scold you like a child because an accident happened.
And then essentially say, is your mother too effing stupid to drive you somewhere?
You guys really have tolerated a lot of interesting behavior. No relationship is perfect. And I'm not trying to say that just because you have these things doesn't mean you can't work through them.
Just means we have our own opinions now of your husband. Based on just these few points.
I'm happy she's getting the help. I'm happy her daughter's getting the help.
So, overreacting or not overreacting?
I have to say that, oh God, this catches me so hard because I don't like the reasons behind it because I don't think that's good for her.
I guess you can just answer her final question then, because it doesn't seem like you can get to a true consensus because it's so grayed and in the middle here. Would I be in the wrong for staying behind?
No, because if that's just the singular question, you're allowed not to be in the same place as your spouse during a holiday or any event. You don't owe anyone your presence. But then we start getting down to the reasonings. And that's where I think it's wildly unhealthy for you to be in that mindset if you're trying to push your relationship into a better direction. It means that there clearly is a lot of things to heal from. But doing it to ante up to get him back for the things you did, I think will only create more animosity and hate. Not just for him, but for definitely you. You start opening up that door of tit for tat, It does not shut.
I'm so glad you said that. Well, let me give you the consensus on Reddit. They said not overreacting. For many Redditors, they said that it sounds like OP's relationship is on the rocks, and that's putting it nicely. And many were happy that OP was able to provide a good example to the daughter on being strong when it came to that trip. But some suggested, aside from counseling, that maybe this is a really bad relationship and not really worth trying to keep if you're going for this tit for tat. Because that's what it feels like. In the end, OP, you shouldn't be guilted on not going to any event that you don't want to or aren't up for. But if it's something that you don't want to do because you don't want to do it, let that be your reason. Don't find all these other negative things to sort of give you the strength for it being your reason. Because then you're going to find that you're in that tit for tat. Be okay with telling your husband, I don't feel like going to visit your family for Thanksgiving, but I want you and our daughter to have fun going there. Instead, I will go ahead and use this time to relax and reflect. But the last thing you want to do is turn around and say, I'm not going to that Thanksgiving because of this, and this, because you're uncomfortable with just saying no. I think that is something that should be preached to both sides. It is okay to say no and to not do things with certain people if you don't feel like it. Don't feel guilted into doing something you do not want to do.
That's the best way to put it. I'm not trying to defend her husband because he sounds like a full clown himself and he has a lot to work through. But for her, we go down that path, everything starts becoming a tit for tat in your head. Keep working on you. Keep your daughter safe. I hope that there will be a better outcome and I'm only speaking for you. Your husband is his own little element, but for you and your daughter, I hope there's a better day.
I hope so as well. Well, you sure did bring us a very gray area type story. Let's see what you think of the next story that you picked for. And we're going to do a little bit of role playing because we have some text messages to read through. And I think it would be very weird to read both sides.
Oh, this is what you told me about.
Yes.
So you gave me what I'm reading.
Yep. Okay. Let me go ahead and give some background first because our OP actually provided that. So for our next story, am I overreacting? I think my ex-fling is harassing / stalking me. I, 25 female, met this guy, let's call Max, 33 male, on Facebook dating October 16th. I was very upfront with what I was looking for in the first message. And to not go into too much personal detail, I'll just say I was wanting a BDSM type lifestyle, a 24/7 TPE dynamic. Max seemed to be all in for it. So we chatted on the app for a bit and then switched to texting. Within a few days, we had gone on a dinner date and it went by all right. that look. I wasn't super into him, but I wanted to give him a chance since he was very charming and funny. We had a couple of dates, and then our last date happened. Oh boy. Max invited me to his house to have dinner with his mother and uncle, who live in the home. I agreed and went over. It was an okay date. I did not feel as if it was time for me to meet his family. I was bound to run into them at some point, since they all live there, but I thought it was a bit weird and it felt uncomfortable. After dinner, we hung out and I went home the next morning. I don't want to go into too much detail, but after dinner, I learned what kind of person he was, and I did not like it. Let's just say he wasn't much of a people pleaser. Well, after I went home, I waited until that evening to call things off. I did not feel right after that date, like something was wrong and I needed to leave him alone. Well, the next morning he messaged me and asked me to think things through. So I did and went to work. Without knowing where I work, he went and left a card and an orchid on my car. I had to get a manager to escort me out because they caught someone doing something near my car. That night, I sent a final goodbye, and once I blocked him on text, he messaged and tried to call me on Facebook Messenger. When I blocked him on that, he messaged and called me on Snap. When I blocked him on that, he went on Discord and messaged me. I thought he took the hint, but a week or so later he messaged me on TikTok, to which I immediately blocked. He has now, as of 2 days ago, created another Discord account to message me on. He sent me that final message and I blocked him again. Should I be concerned that he will make an appearance at work? Should I file a police report? He hasn't done anything to warrant a restraining order, but I don't know. This seems really crazy. Date things ended November 5th. Not even a month of talking for all the dramatics. So just to let you know, they started dating October 16th. This date ending things happened November 5th. So let me go ahead and start, just to let you know, I'm the green and you're the gray.
Okay, let me get my phone.
So just to let you know, I'm the OP and you're going to be the X.
Okay. All right.
The X date.
Okay.
You are a wonderful person and I truly have enjoyed my time with you. I don't have any malicious feelings towards you. You have been honestly a delightful experience and I hope you find who you need.
I'm sorry. I wasn't good enough. What? Please don't leave me. It's not fair to tell me what I should have been doing, what you expected of me, and then just dumping me afterwards. I loved you. I would have done so much better and so much for you next time. I'm trying to. I still would. Please give me another chance. You made me feel irreplaceable, but not so much anymore. I wish you had talked to me that night and voiced what you needed from me. You asked me if I really liked you, and I said yes. I asked why you asked me that, and you didn't give me a clear answer. But all of this was on your mind, wasn't it? Why didn't you talk to me so I could have taken care of your concerns instead of voicing your concerns later and deciding that we should move forward? It really makes me sad that you didn't give me any chances, unlike your previous relationships. It's not fair. I messed up once. By the way, you don't need to worry. I've deleted all the pictures you sent me. I feel like we still have potential to be a great relationship. So he just keeps going?
He does.
She doesn't reply back to any of these. There's 14 pictures?
There's 14. And she does reply back at the beginning.
Okay. Yeah, I care about you deeply. It was borderline love. I thought that's what we both meant when we talked about our significant feelings for each other. Maybe not love, not yet, but I do have very strong feelings for you, and I wanted you to know that before you up and leaving. I'm sorry I called you annoying. I did say only a little. I wasn't intentionally trying to harm you with those words. I'm sorry I didn't take care of you properly. This was a big learning process for me, and I promise if there's a next time that I will take care of you properly. I will make sure you're satisfied if there is a next time before I satisfy myself. Please give me another chance. You don't even need to follow any rules or anything until you are pleased again.
I'm not sure. Please give me today to think about things. I don't get off until 8 p.m. tonight. I have dog training immediately after work, so I won't be home until around 8:30ish.
Okay. I'm not a selfish person. I'm pretty selfless, in fact. Please take that into consideration too.
Ooh woo.
And then he does those two finger.
Yeah, that's the.
Do you guys actually talk to each other like this?
I have no idea. I don't talk like that, but I know what it is.
Reading other people's texts is interesting. I made a mistake and I'm sorry. I won't do it again moving forward. I hope I'm not making you mad right now with the extra 2 messages. I'm just real depressed and I may never see you again and that I fucked everything up so early on. Hey, did you like the surprise I left you? Call me when you can. Is this when they find the orchid on the car?
Correct.
Okay. So the way this works is they give us the story and then some of the text fills in the gaps.
Correct. Of like what happened in between.
Okay, I'm trying to follow along.
OP says, "Good evening. I made it home and got settled. I'm not going to lie. I am very creeped out by your behavior today. I know you meant well and the flowers were beautiful. I really love their color, but it was very uncomfortable for me that you came to my work. I would have been more comfortable had you come inside and handed them to me yourself, but I felt very off finding that on my car today. The card is beautiful as well. I really enjoyed the theme, but it was very creepy finding them on my car today. I'm not sure I want to continue any further. I really appreciate you trying, but I just don't think it's going to work out. I'm going to block you, not because I'm upset with you, but because I don't want to have contact for the time being until my feelings have settled down. I do like you. You are a very sweet and nice person, but we just aren't compatible. I just want you to know that there's nothing wrong with you. You are a lovely person and you are enough. I am just not the one. I hope you find the person that you are looking for. Now, I will go ahead and put a stop to our reading for a second.
Okay.
Because I do not like this text from our OP. I think that you should put onus if you do not like someone and there is something that's wrong. Doing this, you're very sweet, you're wonderful, it's not you, it's me thing. Don't do that to people. You just need to say, look, it's not going to work out. Don't even say that the flowers are pretty. I feel like in my way, that's kind of leading someone on into thinking that there's something there because they're like, oh, she likes something. Oh my goodness, she thinks I'm still a very sweet and nice person. Oh, she says there's nothing wrong with me. They're trying to cut connections here, right?
Sure.
Don't give compliments to people you are trying to cut connections to. Don't. To me, that is such a lead-on move. And I know, I think for OP, they're trying not to hurt feelings by also trying to step away and maybe like, in a way, sort of ghost them. Ghosting works if they don't know where you work and live and what your car looks like and how creepy that they're being. This one needs to be hard boundaries. Don't compliment people that you are trying to cut connections with. Period. That is probably my like strongest bit of advice, especially to anybody that's younger and that's looking to be in these relationships, that wants to be in a healthy one. Don't do that. Seriously. For me, the moment that I read this block of text from ROP, I'm like, why is ROP complimenting this person that makes them uncomfortable, that is essentially just followed them to their workplace like this?
Well, maybe that's why they're trying to compliment and be nice about it, because maybe it's her way of thinking it's de-escalating the problem. Maybe not being forcefully blunt is something that she's scared of he'll take the wrong way and then we're escalating. I don't know. You are correct, though. If you're really ready to just move on from someone, cut the pleasantries and just go ahead and be upfront about it. But I'm not living in her experience at that point, because you and I may answer people and be like that, but it's a lot easier said than done if we're not in those shoes.
That's very true as well. Like, there's a difference between being disrespectful and putting your foot down and saying, thanks, but no thanks. I don't know. I just worry, at least when I read this, I'm just like, just say what you did was creepy. Please leave me alone. For me, one of the biggest red flags is at less than a month in, he's talking about this could be love.
Yeah.
And that we're dealing with significant feelings. Those things come with time. It doesn't come in less than a month. Love is, unless you're feeling like you're falling in love. For me, falling in love is a momentary feel. Loving someone, that's work. That's communication. It's years of building something through all the problems, all the joys, all the sorrows, but it doesn't come in less than 30 days. Or maybe I'm just being too like feet in the ground here.
I don't know. We still have 7 more pages of this.
Let's go. Your turn.
Oh, I thought I was being thoughtful. I didn't know if we were on speaking terms, so I left them there. I wanted to be sweet. I feel like this was a mistake, but I can't change your feelings. I don't think it's fair you gave up on me so easily, but have a good life. I wish we talked more about things. ... See, that leads into more of the, I understand you trying to speak your feelings to someone, but it almost feels manipulative.
So it looks like that last one was probably a text message. This one here that you see is probably the Facebook. After that, the next screenshot looks like it's probably Discord.
Yeah. Why can't we talk about this? Why are you doing this to me?
Blocked.
Yeah.
And now the next screenshot is more of the ex date. And they go on a little tangent with that one.
With your permission, could we meet somewhere so we could talk in person? I really would like to sit down with you and fix this with you. It doesn't need to end. I want to know what I can do to make things right with you again. We don't need to throw away the idea of us. I can take care of your needs, and I will if you let me. Please tell me what to do, because I'll do anything to make this right. I'm sorry you weren't pleased with me, and I'm sorry I let you down. If I had another chance, I would make you proud. Please forgive me. I won't ask you for anything else, just the opportunity to do things differently so I can satisfy you first instead of myself. If not, just please call me and we can talk like that. That's fine too. Please, I want to talk. You really gotta, at some point, understand that when someone tells you no and that they no longer want to date or talk to you, that's just the way life is. I can understand why she's feeling the way she is and paranoid about how he's escalating these type of situations.
Because essentially it's cyber stalking at this point. So this, I believe, is another Discord one where they made another account because our OP says, who is this?
I know you said you'd talk to me once you felt better, but don't talk to me again unless you plan on apologizing for the way you treated me. You blocked me on everything and gave me a panic attack. I have trauma from abandonment. You didn't let me defend myself or hear me out. You called me a creep, ignored me, and blocked me. You didn't even try to communicate with me. Everything you did was hurtful and not relationship material. Communication is key, and you said you communicated issues with exes before me, but then you didn't give me the time of day. I'm extremely upset. I cooked for you, got you your fave candy, introduced you to my family, who loved you, by the way. I took you to your favorite restaurant. I bought you your favorite flowers. I tried finding you your fave colored orchids, which is an almost pastel purple from what I remember, by going to 2 different stores. I got you a cute card too, but I'm a creep for leaving them on your car and giving you space while you thought about me? It doesn't make sense. None of this is fair. I'm so lost right now and frustrated. You didn't give me another chance. You gave your exes many chances, but I didn't get any. I'm a good guy. Better than all the rest. I really like you. You said you would talk to me once your feelings died down or whatever, but I honestly don't want to talk to you unless you're going to apologize to me for how you treated me. And even then, I won't want to be your friend because I know what you want in a relationship. I really want to date you. I don't want to see someone I desire and like with someone else, especially after knowing your kinks and everything. I wanted to be a good dom for you. I still do. Please talk to me. Please give me another chance to make things right. I will make you a very happy woman. I won't let you down again. Can you try to see through the mistake I made and see all the positive I brought to the table instead? I think that's the last one.
Thank goodness. So how does your jaw feel after all that reading?
It's my turn to read.
I would just like to say our OP's ex-date sounds really unhinged with that very last one, especially when they're tagging forward everything that they have feelings and ugh.
Well, he keeps using this whole, you've told me about how you communicated with your exes and gave them chances, but you're not giving me chances. How does that have anything to do with you? How every relationship is singularly its own thing, and comparing yourself to what's been in her past is interesting.
Well, to reiterate, our OP is asking if they're overreacting, thinking that their ex-fling is harassing or stalking them.
No, I don't believe you're overreacting in this situation, OP. He's unwilling to understand that the relationship is over. You don't respect and understand what boundaries look like. Be a little more cautious. She already says she had gotten someone to escort her to her car. Be aware, you are responsible for your safety. Go look at getting protection.
The consensus on Reddit, our OP is not overreacting enough. For Redditors, they said, please, prioritize your safety. This person sounds unhinged, and I concur with this. I think it's nice to have these texts, even though, like, for you, this was torture to read. But to understand the person that our OP is dealing with, as I said, I think one of the things that OP should take going forward is when you're trying to cut that connection with someone, be respectful. Don't be overly pleasant and sweet about it because this person thinks that they still have this chance. Preferably, put your foot down. I understand the relationship that you wanted, and I get it. It's a BDSM, he's dom, you're sub, whatever is going on. Those are personal details for you. Regardless of what you want behind closed doors, how you get treated as a person and what you want from that is significantly different. And there are lots of people that understand those differences. Our OP is trying to utilize the things that you like against you. And that's a really big problem, at least for me, because it shows that he goes beyond the boundaries. I know your kinks. I can't let someone else have you. I can't just be friends. Those are huge warning signs to me. What does it matter? I never gave you that okay to even be my friend. I told you to stop.
Be careful, OP.
I would have to say that, yes, Please be careful.
Beyond the post with Voyse.
Well, let's go on to our next story. And this one also has text for you to read.
Okay.
Am I overreacting by spending time with my family? Our OP puts down in their summary, me, female 20, and my boyfriend, male 20, have been in a relationship for 4 years. We sleep on the phone every night due to the fact we don't see each other often because of extremely busy schedules and distance. Tonight, my mom and grandmother came into my room to talk before bed, so I hung up on my boyfriend to give us some privacy. He got very angry and started saying all these awful mean things to me. Was it my fault for choosing to spend a bit of time with my family and hanging up on my boyfriend even though he was already falling asleep? Am I overreacting by getting upset from the way he speaks to me? I really don't feel like I did anything wrong. Sorry for any grammar mistakes. Are you prepared?
I'm scared because even on the surface level here, she's not wrong. I already have opinions about this, but I guess we're going to go to the tapes.
We're going to go to the tapes. I like that. Damas, you are reading the black ones. I am reading the blue ones.
Okay. Babe, I'm about to sleep. I was falling asleep.
Okay, BB. I'll call as soon as they go.
It's so weird being in people's. Why can't you just answer the phone? Please, bro. Are we calling each other bros?
Yeah, apparently in relationships.
Is that common now?
I guess so. This is new for
I've
me.
never called Voyse my bro or anything close to that, but I'm not trying to get mad. Just answer.
Babe, because my mom and grandma are here?
Okay, and bro, respect my fucking time, bro. I don't give a fuck if they're there. We were on the phone first before they decided to go inside, bro.
Babe, they're still here.
What the fuck? Did I just fucking text you, stupid fuck?
I have chisme.
No, bro. I don't give a fuck. Now you're getting me fucking pissed, bro. Oh my fucking god, bro. Are you fucking serious?
Babe, wait. Why are you mad?
Because you got me fucked up. Bro, I fucking said answer the fucking phone, bro. Answer the fucking phone. You got me fucked up. Respect my fucking time. Bro, you fucking hang up and now you fucking can't be on the phone? I don't give a fuck if they in your room. I need to sleep, bro. I was about to fucking sleep and then this shit, bro.
Babe, just put on auto call. Calm down, Jesus.
No, I said fucking call. Now, not the fuck when you choose to or your family fucking says. You got me fucked up.
Babe, oh my god, just turn on auto call?
I don't give a fuck. I said fucking no. Does this keep going like this?
This keeps going like this.
Why
if
would
you
you
would like for us to stop because there's seriously like at least 5 more screenshots of this whole thing.
Of him just being an
flip
ignorant
it
human?
forward. Honestly, for any of our listeners, I mean, we could keep going with this.
No, this is just giving me brain rot.
Yeah, there's nothing for us to really break down. This guy is very disrespectful. And it keeps going. And I find it funny. The only reason why I find it funny, by the way, is because I could feel how comfortable you were reading it.
I haven't cussed that much in a long time. If you're speaking like that to anyone, regardless if it's your girlfriend or a friend or a family member, stop. ROP has said they've been in a relationship with this clown for 4 years.
Correct.
Since they were 16.
Yep.
Clearly do not know what a good relationship with respect and boundaries is, because that's not one. I would be upset if our son came to us and showed us anything like this. Is this how people are speaking to each other? That's not love.
I bet you there are probably a good majority of relationships that talk to each other like this.
I don't see compromise, understanding, boundaries, or respect. None of that. Those things are the pillars of a good relationship. Get away from that. If he could not see that for however many hours you were talking to your family, even if it wasn't your family, even if these were friends you were having for a sleepover, and he couldn't understand that you don't owe him phone time for sleep, that's a problem. He is controlling and abusive. If someone's speaking to you like that, you leave. Ooh, this one leaves a gross taste in my mouth.
You unknowingly picked this one.
I guess.
You probably thought just family drama. You're like, am I overreacting by spending time with my family? You can read the messages. They are on the post.
It's not worth it. There's nothing to glean outside of someone being an abusive piece of trash.
And it goes down to being really bad. They say that they're not asking our OP, that they have to do what they're told. They're calling them stupid. They're calling them pieces OS. They even bring up calling them fat, pathetic piece of loser. Those are literal words from this text. Our OP actually said in a comment that because our OP was actually questioned about ED in the comment section, our OP said, yeah, it is really hard for me to see just because I've been so used to this behavior. Seeing all these replies, though, has definitely been a wake-up call. I'm actually a healthy weight. I'm currently recovering from an ED. He picks at my insecurities when he's angry and says it's to make me feel as upset as he feels.
Wait a second. Does she say she needed people to point out how bad this human being is because this is how it's always been?
Correct.
She doesn't know any better.
Doesn't seem like it.
That is such a wild concept that you would accept that from anyone. And the reason why you do is because you've never had the sunshine on you before.
Which has me wondering what kind of family life they also have. Because you gauge and have good relationships because of the family that you are raised with. Don't get me wrong. Our family, yours and mine, not perfect. The one thing that I can say is that we had people in our lives to show us what healthy was.
Yes.
But if you don't have that at all, anybody to show you what is supposed to be healthy and good, at least one person in your life to advocate for that.
OP, you are not overreacting. I would say get out of that relationship. If you don't know that that's not acceptable within a relationship, you need to start fixing you first. Learn to love you because he ain't gonna. Not like that.
Our consensus on Reddit is our OP is not overreacting enough again. Everyone was telling OP to run from this relationship, run fast, run hard, seriously, value yourself, OP. This is beyond abusive. There is healthy out there. And while you might not have experienced it, maybe in your own household or maybe not with friends, there are people out there that can show you what real love is. And it doesn't mean that you yourself cannot be that pillar. There are a lot of people who've been in really bad relationships, family and relationship wise, that has learned to go low to no contact and walked away from toxic situations to where they could be happy. But it doesn't sound like this is a happy relationship.
No, you can smell the insecurities through the texting.
Oh, yeah.
It's so bad. Yeah, work on yourself, OP. Get away as far away from that type of relationship in person as you can. The one thing I can tell you is in this type of situation, at least now you know what to look out for.
Well, let's go on to the last story that you picked for us.
I'm so sorry, everyone.
All by these titles.
All I picked was titles.
And this one also has some screenshots. But this isn't in a relationship of some sort that has to do romantically. It has to do with a mom and a daughter.
Okay.
So it's a little different. So for our last story, am I overreacting for telling my mom I'm moving out over this? I'm 18 and a girl. Her boyfriend, that's the mom, hasn't been around long. 7 to 8 months, I would say. I had no problem with him. I never really liked him. I just tolerated for my mom's sake. Problems started happening a month ago now. He started acting really weird towards me. I was getting ready for a date with my girlfriend. I thought my mom came home, so I went downstairs. I just gotten out of the shower, so I had just a towel on. But it was her boyfriend, so I quickly went back upstairs. I said sorry as I didn't know it was him. Then I went back to getting ready. About 20 to 30 minutes later, I forgot something in the bathroom, so I went to get it. I heard him moaning, so I thought my mom was home. Gross. Went back into my bedroom to continue getting ready, and I turned my music up loudly so I couldn't hear that BS. I finished getting ready and went downstairs, but it was only him, so I asked him if my mom was home. He said no, which I realized he was jerking it. I could feel him staring at me when I was getting myself a drink. I got him staring at my boobs, but I didn't say anything. Then I saw him adjusting himself. Things like that have been happening a lot for the past month. Sometime Before all that happened, my girlfriend and I were in the living room together and we were kissing. It wasn't snogging, anything like that. It was just little sweet ones. We was having a moment and we were home alone, but he randomly came in, but we just laughed it off. My girlfriend said maybe that's what made the weirdness start to happen. I've told her this. She tells me I'm just overthinking things. I told her it's making me uncomfortable. But she keeps telling me I'm just overthinking. So I've been at my girlfriend's house all the time pretty much. I don't like being around him anymore. I feel annoying posting this. And I'm kind of embarrassed. I don't want to move out. I love my mom, but I can't deal with her around that man. She's a different person and I hate it. I haven't even been at work. I have a week off. This is really long. I'm very sorry. I appreciate it if you read everything. So you're the gray texts, which is the mother, and I will be the blue ones.
Okay. There's a running theme. I'm the bad guy.
The bad guy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Think you're asleep. I can't sleep. I think you should only see your girlfriend at hers now to make things easier.
Huh? Why?
Why aren't you asleep?
I'm never asleep at this time. Why are you telling me she can't come around anymore?
I'm tired of this awkwardness in the house. I've spoken to my boyfriend. He told me that he isn't comfortable when he's just there with you two. I don't think that's fair. It's not like I'm forcing you to end things. I just want to stop this ridiculous thing that's been going on for the past month. I'm getting sick of it.
Why does he come before me? That's not fair. I told you I was uncomfortable. You told me I was overthinking. In what world is that fair?
You're always at hers anyways. Don't try and twist this on me.
I'm always at hers ever since he's been around. Why do you think that is?
You're just being a brat.
No, I'm not. I can't believe you right now. Boyfriend greater than child. Is that your brain? It's my own house. I grew up here. He's not even been around for a year. And how he feels is more important than me?
Whatever I do, someone is going to be pissed off.
So you thought pissing your child off was the better option. I told you why I am uncomfortable when he just saunters in the house when you're not here. I told you why I am uncomfortable with what happened in the kitchen, yet you don't listen. But the second he's suddenly uncomfortable, it's a problem and I can't have my girlfriend here anymore.
She makes some good points.
I know. That's why I'm the blue.
You aren't having her here anymore, and that's that. Good night.
I'm moving out then.
Grow up.
I fear moving out is a pretty big growing up move, no? You want to put your boyfriend before me? Then I'll put my girlfriend before you.
Right. And where are you going to go?
The place I was practically living in. Her dad doesn't care. He literally told me if anything ever happens, I can live with them.
Still haven't come and got your stuff, I see.
I've had work.
Right. When are you coming to get it then? If you're still having your tantrum.
Tantrum? I'll come tomorrow.
I'll pack your things.
No, I will do it tomorrow.
Me and my boyfriend will do it tonight. Have it all done and ready for you.
No, he isn't touching my things.
I'll do it myself.
LOL, you're in for a shock. Enjoy.
What does she mean?
I'm assuming that there's probably some like toys or something in there.
What is mom about to find in the room? See, this is the thing. The heartbreaking part about all of this. It sounds like your mom chose. She chose not to see that someone she invited into your guys' house makes you uncomfortable. How very sad and tragic. Especially when we've already been told his backstory and what he's already done around you.
Blech. And the fact that she brought her concerns up to her mom.
Your mom picked. But I will say this. At least you have your girlfriend. I'm not certain their family life. Hopefully it's better than ROP's. But at least you do have someone.
So do you think our OP is overreacting or not overreacting for moving out over this?
Your safety's first. That's the end. You're not overreacting at all. I wouldn't want to be around someone who's making me feel uncomfortable. And then somehow he was able to turn the table and go, I'm uncomfortable with them.
Okay.
Everyone can have their reasonings, and maybe truly somewhere deep down, that sleaze feels uncomfortable around them. He's allowed to have that feeling, but the person that made the choice and had the power because it is their home was the mother, and she chose. And that's what, at the end of the day, this all comes down to. You could have compromised. We could have had an adult conversation because everyone in this story is an adult.
No, apparently 7 to 8 months into a relationship is...
long enough to pick someone else over the kid.
Yeah.
I don't care how long the relationship, even if it was a 5-year relationship, you still should have the wherewithal in a relationship to look at someone and hold them accountable.
Agreed.
And the fact that she didn't means you're better off, OP, with this outcome.
Well, the consensus on Reddit is our OP's not overreacting. For Redditors, the mom is garbage. To not want to protect her daughter from a potential pervert that the mom is dating is real bad. And for many, they said OP should prioritize herself first. Your safety is number one. Now, the one thing that I have to say, I guess you could say this is probably tail spinning or assuming, but the thing is, I try to give the benefit of the doubt. However, I have to think of things critically on why somebody would do something that to me would not make sense. Our OP said they feel uncomfortable. They've now essentially been sexualized by this person that their mother is dating. They literally heard it after he got a snapshot of her in his mind in a towel. Gross, man. I can't even begin. But I digress. The thing is, there's no way for us to know for sure.
Yeah.
We can only assume based on our own logic. I will assume the way that I assume, just because for me, that logically would make sense. And if I was in OP's shoes and had experienced that, that's what I would be assuming too. But to have someone say the person that you're in a relationship with can't be in the home anymore, so you're trying to isolate our OP in this home that this guy has access to, that comes in whenever he wants. Because it doesn't sound like he lives there. It sounds like he just comes in.
Yeah.
Right? How predatorial is that to essentially try and find ways to trap our OP at home alone when you know that he's disgusting pervert? Like I said, that's probably me just spinning a tale. We don't know for sure. But in my mind, when it comes to my safety, and if I was in OP's shoes, that's how my mind would run. This guy who I've only known for 7 to 8 months, who's now makes me feel uncomfortable and stares at me. And she actually says that in the comment section multiple times. He stares at me. And now he wants you to be alone in the house where he has access to that your mom has allowed. I have to concur with all of the Redditors. This mother is a garbage person. The safety of my children have always and will always be number one. Any child's safety for me is number one compared to an adult's. Because as an adult, you'll figure it out, trust me. But as a child, and our OP's 18. I mean, don't get me wrong, legally you're an adult, but you're still learning to navigate your way through life. This is your physical child who's alone in a house with a stranger that you've known for 7 to 8 months, where he has access to come in and out, who has seen your daughter in a towel and has made your daughter uncomfortable because she heard him jerking it off in another room. Reality check to that mother and to any mother out there. I speak so seriously on this because we've talked on serious topics before, and I don't take that stuff lightly. Well, I do have a small update from our OP. Oh, I know. Updates are, I think, pretty rare when it comes to Am I Overreacting? But who knows?
This is our first ones.
Our OP says, her dad is telling me I don't have to pay rent, but I don't really just want to live here for free. I feel bad. So we moved all my stuff today, so I'm there now. My girlfriend is really happy about it. I am too, to be honest. We are hardly away from each other, if I'm being honest. My girlfriend and I have spoken about looking for apartments. They're all very expensive, so we're saving. I'm not sure about the kissing thing, honestly. It was only that one time he saw us that was an accident, and all three of us laughed it off at the time. Yeah, I get that. My friends don't really know about the situation as everyone's busy at the moment, working, or they're just with their partners. We have conversations, of course, but I just don't want to go, oh, by the way, guys. It feels annoying.
Don't feel bad about her folks giving you guys a place to stay rent-free. It's a tough economy everywhere. Take this time, save up, and then get up on your feet. The only reason you should feel bad or feel like you're taking advantage of someone giving you a
leg up,
a gift, a true gift, is if you're not doing the things you need to do to get to the next step. That's the only reason you should ever feel bad in those types of situations. If you're absent-mindedly blowing your money on just things because you have that expendable money now, that's when it's wrong, in my opinion. But it sounds like you guys have a path forward. You have goals. stick to them.
Yep. It sounds like OP's girlfriend's father, which is a mouthful just to say, is very supportive of the relationship.
Yep.
And I'm really glad that they found someone that could help them in this time. And as you said, push them forward into the future in a good way. That's what true good parents do.
Yes. I mean, a lot of people have had to move in with their folks now to survive. Okay. So the fact that you guys have to do that, there should be no shame. Understand that at 18, you guys are doing the right thing. You got yourself out of a could be a sketchy situation with very interesting values in your mother's household, but it is what it is. It sounds like you're moving upward and forward in a healthy direction. So is this our last story?
This was our last story.
What a great way to kick off our, what is this called again?
Am I overreacting?
Am I overreacting segment? I liked it. You guys will have to tell us if you enjoyed it. I understand maybe us reading the text it might not work. But
I mean, okay. I think some of the text to get actual context is fine. That third story where all he was doing was belittling his girlfriend, I don't think will ever be. If anything, I'll probably have you read the first part because seeing you a little uncomfortable is funny. But to continue reading with it, I didn't even like stomaching reading it myself. I read through all of this to understand the concepts of what's going on. But seriously, all of this, all the links will lead you right to the stories so that if you want to gauge and look through anything yourself so that you can come to your own perspective, please feel free to do that, listeners. That's what they're there for.
let us know what you think about this episode and if it's something that maybe we continue to do.
Yeah, at least we'll have our Mondays, which are Am I the A-hole Mondays, and our, I guess, Am I Overreacting Hump Wednesdays? Because we're trying to get over the hump.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the pun. God, your puns. Well, as our stories come to a close, don't forget, you see in the world what you carry in your heart.
If you have enjoyed listening to us read and talk about today's stories, please rate, subscribe, and click that bell notification for new content. On Mondays, we have our Am I the A-holes? And our Wednesdays, we have our Overreacting Hump Wednesdays.
And on Fridays.
We have our Damas After Dark. That's right.
Which is on our Patreon.
And I would just love to thank all of our Teatreons for your continued support.
Yes, we love and appreciate every single one of y'all.
Mwah!
And as always, listeners, we look forward to hearing your opinions in the comments below. What did you think about the stories today?
And what do you think about my winter-esque background?
I tried to hold her back. The second the clock struck December 1st.
That's right.
This happened everywhere.
I think it's beautiful.
So before we go, do we have any baby updates?
No, I don't think so. I feel her kicking so much now.
It is so much. It's wild. I put my hand on there and she'll boop it like 5 or 6 times in a row. I'm not sure if it's telling me to F off.
Get away from me, Dad.
Yeah, but she's very active.
I find it funny because I think at one point she was literally kicking and I lifted up my shirt so that you could see the skin move.
Oh, God.
I know it's alien to see.
It's
alien to feel.
Just to watch the yeah, it's all good. I love it. It's life. And remember, if you post it, maybe we'll see it on the internet. See you guys on Monday.